everyone, welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Karen.
And I'm Matt. And today we're looking at part 2 of The Lady or the Tiger.
And I do have to say that this story is actually very, very exciting, isn't it?
It is. I'm excited to see what happens next.
Exactly. And it's actually a story about, a game of chance, right? Whether you're lucky or not. And it has nothing to do with, if you've done something wrong and then you have to serve some time in the jail. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with luck. So you know what?
Yeah?
I thought of a game that we can play.
Okay.
Okay, so here I have 2 cards, okay? And these 2 cards, on one of them, it says that I need to give you 10,000 NT dollars.
Sounds good to me.
10,000, Matt, 10,000. And on the other card, it says that you have to give me 1,000 NT.
I don't like that as much, but it's not too bad.
What have you got to lose, right?
Yeah,
1,000 or 10,000. Come
All
on.
right.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so let me shuffle the cards first.
Okay.
And this is not a game, okay? Well, you really have to pay me, or I really have to pay you. Okay. Here. Game of chance.
I'm going this one. This card here.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
No, then this one. This one.
Okay, you want this one, right?
Sure
You sure?
I'm
You sure?
I'm sure.
Okay, well, it says that you have to give me $1,000. Yes! I'm very lucky today. What can I tell you?
Well, can I try one more time?
You want one more time?
One more time.
Okay, so
Okay.
if you lose again, that means you have to give me 2,000. Yes? Okay. So let me try again. Let me shuffle. See if I'm lucky. Or you're the lucky one.
You ready?
Okay, go.
This one.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Positive?
Positive.
Okay, and it says that you have to give me another $1,000. You have to give me $2,000.
Wait a minute. Let me see these.
What?
Karen, these both say I have to give you $1,000.
It was just a joke.
How can I win?
Okay, well, let's go into today's story. Sorry.
I'm not paying you that.
One day, the king found out that his daughter had fallen in love with a handsome young man. The king considered the man to be low class and did not want his daughter to marry him. He threw him into jail to await his trial in the arena. The man would either marry someone other than the king's daughter or be eaten by the tiger. The princess used her influence in the kingdom to discover what was behind each door. She also learned that the lady was someone whom she truly hated. During the trial, the young man looked to the princess for an answer. She signaled the door on the right, and the young man opened it.
So we're looking at part 2 of The Lady or the Tiger. Well, last time we learned that, the accused have to, choose the door, right? And then there was a beautiful lady behind one door and a tiger behind the other. So what are we going to learn about today?
Let's see. I think we're going to learn about someone experiencing this unusual kind of system. So one day, the king found out that his daughter had fallen in love with a handsome young man. The king considered the man to be low class and did not want his daughter to marry him.
The king considered the man to be low class. What does that mean by low class?
So he considered him because he thought that this man was, not. So there's low class and there's high class. Usually low class would be not educated, usually with not much money, not part of the, the people that
Up to their standards.
Up to their standards. So he's one of the, usually less money, maybe a small house. He doesn't have the things that the king thinks, a king's daughter
would deserve.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's also the middle class too, right?
Yeah, so there's different classes.
Okay, so the king doesn't like this guy, and he threw him into jail to await his trial in the arena. The man would either marry someone other than the king's daughter or be eaten by the tiger. What a plan.
So it's a convenient solution for the king because either way, he doesn't lose. He's not going to marry his daughter.
Exactly, but that is kind of horrible, don't you think?
Yeah, you think there's an easier way to have him not marry your daughter.
That's right.
So they said he was awaiting trial. So trial is a noun and it means to go before a judge in a court and to find out usually if someone is guilty or innocent of something. If someone has done something wrong, if they will go to jail, they will have a trial. Or even if someone needs to pay someone else money, you might also see a trial.
That's right.
So, for example, recently, I think a lot of people were watching a trial on television, which was Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were having his ex-wife, and they were having a trial about who needed to pay who some money.
That's right.
So, in the example sentence, it says, the murder trial was watched by millions of people in America.
And sometimes these trials would be on television. Not all the time, but sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes these trials people do like to watch these things, and a lot of these trials do end up on television. So sometimes they're watched by millions of people, not just in America, but even around the world.
Exactly. Okay, the princess used her influence in the kingdom to discover what was behind each door. So we have a vocabulary word here, influence, and we're using it as a noun. It can also be a verb, but right here we're using it as a noun. So to have an influence on something, that means that it's to be affected by something, right? So for example, Gerald used his influence in the company to get a raise for Mrs. Davis.
Okay, so he has some power over the other people, so he has some way to change their decisions, just like how the princess has some power over people in the kingdom and able to control the way they act or do things, so she can use her influence.
To have an effect on them, right?
She also learned that the lady was someone whom she truly hated.
Oh no.
So you might have to marry someone that she hates. During the trial, the young man looked to the princess for an answer. She signaled the door on the right, and the young man opened it.
Signal. Signal is actually our next vocabulary word, and that is a verb. To signal, usually you're communicating, maybe using sound or using a gesture, using a motion to send a message. So sometimes you would be on the street, you see the police officer, they're trying to, signal the cars whether to go or to stop. So for example, I signaled the waiter that I wanted the bill. Usually I would kind of, pretend to write a check mark in the air, or yes, exactly. So the waiter would know what I need. Oh no, so what do you think the princess told the man that she loved? Is she going to say?
I don't know, we're on a real edge here. I don't know which door he is opening. Which door did she signal to him to open? So she's told him which one to open, but is she sending him to her friend? Or no, not her friend, to the woman who she hates, or
to the tiger.
To the tiger.
I have no idea, but it's such a tough decision, right?
That's the question, that's the title of the story, the lady or the tiger.
Exactly. Okay, well, we'll have to take a short break first, and we'll be right back.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hualien。第一天的课文读到，被告在竞技场接受审判，面对两扇门，要么就是被老虎撕成碎片，被视为有罪；要么就是娶得美娇娘，然后被视为无罪。这就看运气好不好，有没有选对门了。那有一天呢，国王就发现他女儿爱上了一名英俊的年轻男子。国王认为对方阶级低下，不想让女儿嫁给他，于是呢就把这个人呢丢进牢里，等待竞技场的审判。这样一来啊，男子不是娶别人，就是被老虎吃掉，国王就不用担心女儿会跟他结婚了。好，国王的女儿也就是公主，就利用她在王国的影响力，得知每扇门后面是什么，她就发现其中一扇门后面的女子是她非常讨厌的人。那在审判期间呢，年轻男子看向公主来寻求 头答案。公主向他示意是右边的门。好，然后年轻人就把门打开了。故事读到这边，好让人紧张哦。我们这时候可以用到 on the edge of one's seat 来表达说，可能因为紧张、兴奋或焦虑而坐立难安。那它的字面意思就是说，在某人椅子的边缘，会让你坐在椅子边缘，就表示那个电影或表演等等非常吸引人，让人紧张或兴奋，引申出坐立难安的意思。好，那课文单字 trial 它表示审判、审讯或是审理。那么 influence 在这边当名词，它有影响力啊、诠释或是影响作用的意思。再来看到 signal 在这边当动词，它是表达示意，像是用手势啊、声音等等示意或是发信号。好，那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看这个重点是 either A or B， 表示不是 A 就是 B， 要么 A 要么 B。这个 either 或是念作 either， 它是用来指两种可能性的选择，常常搭配 or 使用。那么 either 点点点 or 点点点，它必须连接词性相同的字词或子句。那么连接动词的话，它们的时态就必须相同。如果是连接两个主词的话，我们的动词单复数呢，必须配合比较靠近动词的主词，也就是后面的那个主词哦。举例来说 ，The island can be reached either by ferry or by plane。你可以搭渡轮或是飞机前往那一座岛屿。那我们再来就考大家，我们现在要连接主词喽。假设妈妈在质问说谁打破了花瓶啊，然后你跟弟弟各说各话，妈妈可能就会对你说 ，Either you or your brother 空格 lying to me， 不是你就是你弟弟在对我撒谎。那这边我们看空格要填什么呢？Either you or your brother， 我们看到空格比较靠近这个 your brother， 所以是依他来决定。那我们就要填入 is， 这样会了吗？好，这回到课文中。
Before the trial, the princess had struggled with her decision. She wondered if she could stand to watch the love of her life marry her rival. On the other hand, could she bear to see him torn to pieces by the tiger? Her decision wasn't easy, and yet the question remains, which came out of the open door, the lady or the tiger?
Welcome back, everyone. So it's kind of exciting right now, right?
Yeah.
So what happened before the break?
Okay, so we learned that this man who was in love with a princess, and her father did not want them to get married, so he had sent the man to
the arena
so that he had to choose which door to open, whether he would get married, and in fact to a woman that the princess hates, or whether he gets eaten by the tiger. And just before where we left off, the princess had signaled to the man as to which door to open, and he had opened it.
Because the princess actually used her influence to find out what is behind each door, right? So she already know which one is the beautiful lady whom she hated, or the tiger. So I really don't know. Okay, let's continue. Before the trial, the princess had struggled with her decision. So when you say someone struggled with something, that means they had difficulty, to experience difficulty with something, right?
Yeah, so it's not an easy decision for her to make. She needed to struggle with it.
Yeah, she's kind of thinking in her head, I don't know which one to tell him. And then she wondered if she could stand to watch the love of her life marry her rival. What does it mean by can she stand? You know, the love of her life marrying her rival. Can she tolerate it?
Tolerate it, take it.
Yeah, is she okay with it? Right? To marry her rival, it's kind of like her enemy, someone who she doesn't like. On the other hand, could she bear to see him torn to pieces by the tiger? So, I don't know. I mean, like, watching someone that you love be torn to pieces by the tiger, of that.
I think the fact that she's thinking about it so much means that she's a little bit selfish. I mean, she's really thinking about how would she feel, not about how the man she loves feels. So he's either going to, she doesn't know if she can take him being, being
gonna
with
be okay
her
with it.
rival, or so maybe she'd rather just he wasn't around at all.
Exactly.
Her decision wasn't easy, and yet the question remains. Which came out of the open door, the lady or the tiger? So we're left there with questions that remain. It means that something that is left behind or something that you still have. So this story, the ending is like unanswered, so we have questions that remain. I know I certainly have questions that remain. So our example sentence says, even after the killer was caught, many questions remained. We can also use this, for example, like if I ate some fried chicken and I ate all of it, and after that only the bones remained.
So what is left over,
That's what's
right?
still left behind.
Okay. So what do you think question? We do have a question for everyone and also for us as well. What do you think came out from behind the door? I don't know. I really don't know. This is like an open ending, right?
I know these open endings sometimes they're frustrating.
Exactly. I really want to know what happened.
Yes. Anyway, if I had to choose, I would say the lady came out of the open door.
Okay.
And my reason for saying this is I just really hope that the princess is not such a terrible person that she would
want the man to
die rather than being with someone else. Like I think, yeah. So I'm just hoping that she's nice, but we didn't learn enough about her to know her character. So I don't know if she's the kind of person. But I hope that it was the lady that came out.
Actually, I would have to agree with you. I think so too. I think if you really truly love someone, if she truly loves that man, then she wouldn't. Well, even for anybody, you wouldn't want people just to die, right?
I think you want
exactly. Anybody with a kind heart wouldn't want that. So I would say the lady that she hated was behind the door. Right?
And then maybe in the future she can make a new plan to get him back that way. So
Exactly. I really hope. We really hope that the princess was a kind person, right? Okay, well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoy the story.
Bye.
Bye.
好，故事写到说，在审判前啊，公主一直在为她的决定挣扎。她在想说，她能不能够忍受眼睁睁看着毕生挚爱跟情敌结婚？那另一方面呢，她能够忍受看着爱人被老虎撕成碎片吗？这个决定并不容易。不过我们不知道答案，因为这个故事啊，它是开放式结局 （open ending）， 所以这个问题还是存在。从门后走出来的是美女还是猛虎呢？同学们要自己想了。好，单字 remain 它是动词，在这边表示仍然存在，它也可以表达保持、持续某种状态的意思。那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看这个重点是 on the other hand， 它是指另一方面。那这个副词片语可以单独使用。那我们另外也常常会用 on the one hand 去搭配 on the other hand 来表达一方面怎么样，另一方面怎么样，用来引出两种不同或相反的观点或是事实。我们就来造两个例句。Richard is a quiet person. His sister, on the other hand, is very talkative. Richard 是个沉默寡言的人，另一方面，他的姐姐则非常健谈。那再看一个例句哦。On the one hand, I want to buy a new phone, but on the other hand, I'm trying to save money. 一方面我想买一只新手机，但另一方面我正在设法存钱。好，那么以上是这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
One day, the king found out that his daughter had fallen in love with a handsome young man. The king considered the man to be low class and did not want his daughter to marry him. He threw him into jail to await his trial in the arena. The man would either marry someone other than the king's daughter or be eaten by the tiger. The princess used her influence in the kingdom to discover what was behind each door. She also learned that the lady was someone whom she truly hated. During the trial, the young man looked to the princess for an answer. She signaled the door on the right, and the young man opened it. Before the trial, the princess had struggled with her decision. She wondered if she could stand to watch the love of her life marry her rival. On the other hand, could she bear to see him torn to pieces by the tiger? Her decision wasn't easy, and yet the question remains, which came out of the open door, the lady or the tiger?
Mr. Ahmed Afo of Maro Woodcarving Studio was born in the Matai An tribe of Guangfu Township in Hualien County. Mr. Ahmed Afo has a passion for art and has been a primary school teacher since his graduation. While teaching, Mr. Ahmed Afo joined a sculpting workshop and learned about woodcarving. After learning woodcarving, Mr. Ahmed Afo was fascinated by the world of sculpture. He realized that Ami's culture had few preserved artworks. Therefore, he opened Maro Woodcarving Studio. Now, he wants to pass on the skills and culture of woodcarving to his students.
ๆ像我在刻的话是记录我们的生活，比如说在农业社会的生活，插秧啦、犁田啦，是这样的呈现出来后，还有一些跳舞啊，是这样，还有传承，妈妈指导孩子，是这样。我的雕刻里面好像都有。
Mr. Ahmed Afo's inspiration comes from both traditional culture and life experiences. His artworks are vivid sculptures that use delicate carving techniques. His works show the special passions of the Amis people. The variety of styles in the wood carvings shows a true love for traditional arts. Mr. Ahmed Afo now focuses on the creation of wood carvings that promote Aboriginal culture. He wants to give everyone the desire to protect traditional art culture.
See you next time!